Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Fran, I'm from Venezuela, and today we're going to be reacting to a video called 20 Things to Know Before Coming to Australia. Tips for traveling the East Coast, Australia. So I'm guessing it's going to be a very useful video for everyone that wants to maybe book a trip to Australia, or maybe they aren't sure whether or not to plan a vacation there. So come join me before we book our next flight to Australia, to Sydney. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. So let's hit play. Yeah, so I'm glad that I haven't booked my trip to Australia yet. I'm curious to see what.
Hey guys, Chris from Stoke for Travel here, and welcome back to the channel. Now, before I get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
He looks very chill. He looks like he'd fit right in a
Now, today we're going to talk
Australia,
about one of my favourite countries in the world, Australia. Over the last 10 years of bouncing around the globe, Australia is the country I've spent the most amount of time in. There's so many things to see, do, and experience here.
See, there's,
now,
it looks like a wonderful
trip
country.
To Australia, here's 20 things that I think you need to know before you go to Australia. Everything.
Okay, so I love it. I love the fact that it has like from goon hangovers to epic tours and hidden gems. So it has a little bit of everything. So even if you want to be like, I want to party and I want to spend my whole vacation there just going to nightclubs, or maybe just like, I don't know, drinking. Why not? Drinking and near to the beach. Or maybe you're like, no, I actually want to know like all the landscapes and all the cultural landmarks. It's going to be, it has everything. You know, variety is the spice of life.
Things you can't miss out on, little hints and tips that I've picked up along the way. So yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, he looks like an expert.
Now, one of the most common mistakes everyone makes when traveling to Australia for the first time is underestimating the size of the country and the travel times and distances. There's over 2,400 kilometers between Sydney and Cairns on the East Coast alone, so don't expect to be able to cram everything into 7 days.
Yeah,
in fact, you need at least
huge.
3 weeks to cover Sydney and Cairns comfortably.
So he recommends spending at least 3 weeks just on the East Coast. That's a very long vacation time. And on top of that, ideally 4 to 6 weeks to feed in heaps of other adventures trips. Like that's gonna be a very long ass vacation time. I don't know whether I don't know what employers allow that, but if you have the opportunity, like yes, like book 6 weeks in Australia. You're not gonna get bored. Obviously, there's so many stuff to do.
Flexible plans. And then, of course, there's heaps of other parts of Australia as well as the East Coast, such as Northern Territory, the Red Centre, of course, Western Australia as well. Bottom line on that one, guys,
like there's so many things to do
between destinations in a couple of hours. You might need to take some internal flights as well. So
and don't go by car.
Don't underestimate your travel time and distances.
Of course. Yeah, don't underestimate it, please. I think if you're short on time, of course, like please book a flight. You're gonna be wasting so much time going in your car. I know that sometimes like it can be a fun thing, you know, just like I love road trips. But if you're short on time, just I think, you know, it's worth it if you like splurge on some tickets.
Next up is the fact that goon is going to be your best friend, but also your worst enemy. Now, goon is the nickname given to the cheap box wine found out here in Australia, and it has horrendous hangovers.
Oh, it's
so why are you going to end up drinking it in the first place? Well, to put it in perspective, 6-pack of beer in Australia is around about 18 to 20 bucks, and 5 litres of goon.
Oh, so wine, 5 liters? 5 liters is 20 bucks. That's very cheap, insanely cheap, I would say. So maybe like, I don't know, spend a little more, but don't have a hangover the next day.
It's also going to set you back about $20. So if you're budget traveling around Australia, what do you think you're going to end up pre-drinking with? Yep, goon. Just beware of the horrendous hangovers, guys, and the weird trippy dreams. I've done a whole other blog post on goon, so make sure you check.
Weird trippy dreams, do they have, it's not a drug at the end of the day, it's just alcohol. Why would it give you weird dreams? What? Oh my god, it's a psychedelic. They put something in the grapes.
Goon, best friend, and also worst enemy.
Worst enemy, yeah. Beware of the
goon. Keep in mind when you head to Australia for the first time.
We love it. You don't have to like rent a car every single time. They have perfectly good bus passes. Who doesn't love it?
And also a Wimmet pass. You've also got the Premier bus. It's slightly less flexible, but it is a lot cheaper. And then you've got things
Oh,
like
but
Stray
it's
Australia,
cheaper.
so it's kind of
Okay,
a
so if you're on a
semi-guided
budget,
tour.
great.
And of course, you've got heaps of other options as well for getting around, such as camper van hire, car hire, and more.
Yeah, of
So
course,
make sure
you
look
have
into your travel
cars, but
options
if
and
you're,
check out the crew
if
from
your budget is
RTW
tight, or
Backpackers
maybe
for
you
the
just
best
want
ways
to
to travel around
have other
Australia.
options, maybe you don't want to drive, it's a great choice. You can also you can drink your goon and go in a bus. Maybe not. Don't disturb the other
Another thing I
passengers,
recommend
but
to
you know what I
everyone
mean.
heading to Australia for the first time is do not overlook Western Australia. Yes, the East Coast is where a lot of the fun and
Western
crazy times
Australia.
are happening, things like Whitsundays and Fraser Island, but Western Australia is not to be missed.
Okay.
I camper van from Perth to Darwin along the west coast of Australia, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. You got crazy places like the Pinnacles and Wave Rock. You've
Perth,
got wineries
Coral
down at
Bay,
Margaret River, and of
Exmouth,
course spots like
Exmouth.
Coral Bay, Shark
They have
Bay,
wineries.
and Monkey Mire with wild dolphins.
I'm thinking maybe like the East Coast is the most touristy place, and it has a lot of like the famous landmarks probably, and probably the famous beaches. But you know, the West Coast is probably less known, and probably it's like done really good. It's great, but I think every country has its own like its favorite coast, and people are like, oh, the East Coast is better.
Well. Of course,
It
you got
always
spots
happens
like
in
Broome
every
and
country.
Exmouth, incredible scuba diving with whale sharks.
People
and
always
manta rays,
prefer one
and then
coast to
just
the
got
other.
landscape in general. So yeah, if you want to make the
Oh,
most of
man,
Australia,
oh,
don't
beautiful
miss out on
landscape.
WA.
See. Yeah, so you have to go there maybe like 2
Now,
weeks
one of my
in the
top
East
tips for
Coast and 2
traveling
weeks
to Australia for
on
the
the West
first time
Coast.
is pencil
Byron
in
Bay,
lots
yeah.
of time for
That's one of the
Byron
most
Bay.
touristy
Now, if you've been following my adventures
attractions.
for a while, you
Yeah.
know that Byron
You
Bay
can't
is
go
by
to
far
Australia
my
and don't
favourite
go
spot
to
on the East
Byron
Coast.
Bay.
So many awesome things to do here. This barefoot hippie town is full of
It's his
incredible
favorite, yeah.
beaches and amazing surf. Make sure you check out my full guide to
Skydiving,
Byron Bay in the
kayaking,
links
surf
below. And yeah,
lessons.
pencil in plenty of time for Byron Bay.
Yeah, you have to go there.
Now, even though Byron Bay is my favourite stop along the East Coast,
Yamba.
Yamba is the hidden gem. This sleepy little beachside town sits a couple hours south of Byron, so it's a great place to stop
it's a
off
hidden
on the way up
beach.
to Byron or on the way south down to Sydney. It's all about quiet vibes here, beach life, and
Chilled
incredible
out,
surf.
peaceful.
A lot of the locals describe it as Byron
Surf
25
surf
years
spots,
ago.
yeah.
So if you're looking to
Obviously,
explore
Australia, like they love their surf. It's always gonna be there, but I love
little
it's
quiet
probably a little
beachside
more
town,
chill.
Yamba's the place to head.
I love it. Yamba.
Now, when it comes to the best things to do on the east coast of Australia, the two tours I recommend you don't miss out on are Fraser Island and the Whitsundays. Now, Fraser Island is the world's largest sand
Okay.
island, and here you can head out on a 4x4 tag-along tour, where you can cruise along
it's
the
a
beach
sand
highways and through
island.
rainforest tracks. It's a really awesome option to do.
Oh, but see, I love the fact that they have day trips and overnight options available. So maybe if you're on a tight budget, you don't have to go and stay there overnight. You can have like you can go on a day trip, and it's actually pretty good. 185 all around. It's pretty good, and you're gonna have
I
like
definitely
just as
recommend
much
the overnight
of a fun
camping
time.
tours.
Like you
because
don't always
get to
have
sleep
to
under the
stay
stars
overnight.
and enjoy an amazing campfire.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, if you can splurge, yeah, spending a night under the stars. I think maybe if you don't even like hiking or you're not used to like being like an outdoorsy type, maybe like if you can, maybe just once. Definitely, it's worth it. Just sleeping in a tent
Now, when
under
it
the
comes to
stars is
Whitsundays, you've got
definitely
those
worth
incredible
it.
views
Even if
across
that's not your
Whitehaven
thing,
Beach
try
and
it
Hill
once.
Inlet. And for me, the overnight sailing tours are the way to go. Sleep on a boat, doing some incredible snorkeling, and explore more of what these islands have to offer. Of course, if you are short on time or don't have the budget for the overnight options, there are amazing day trips there too. If you want more
Yeah,
help
see,
finding
like
the best
it's
Fraser Island
it's
and
fine if you don't
Whitsundays
have the
tours, check out
budget.
the
Like
links in the
you're gonna
description
have
below.
just as much as a good time in just like a day trip. It's fine.
Now, for those of you who are looking to stay in hostels while you're traveling around in Australia, one word of advice, they do vary massively in both price and quality, so do your research before you book. There are plenty of
Okay.
incredible flash
Okay,
pack
so be
accommodation
careful.
options all around the country that are a little bit more pricey, but do have
Cheap
a lot
and
more
nasty.
facilities and comfort.
Oh, okay.
And
So
of
I
course,
love
there
the
are some
fact that
budget
he
options
just
that
like
aren't
gives
so great as well.
a good
Best
couple of
bit advice I can
options.
give you on this is
Tried
do
and
your
true.
research and check out the reviews before you book.
Okay, that's
Now,
always
the
a
other
good
thing that
advice.
a lot
Always
of
check the
people tend to
reviews.
underestimate before traveling to Australia is how much it costs to travel in Australia. In fact, on my average
So
budget
it's
for a
very
backpacker,
expensive.
it works out about 109 Aussie dollars a day. But this does include all your amazing trips,
Okay, so it
tours,
can get pretty
accommodation options,
pricey, yeah.
and a food budget along the East Coast as well. If you want more
well,
advice
yeah.
on
I mean,
that one,
especially
check out the
yeah.
link in
If
the
you're
description
like
below.
coming from the Southeast Asia, probably it's gonna be like a
full
pretty
budget
big
breakdown.
shock. But
That being said, though, it is totally
yeah,
worth it.
you
and
have to
even
like
though
really
Australia
plan it.
is more expensive to travel than spots like Bali, Asia, Thailand.
Yeah, of course it's gonna be
places like
worth
that.
it. But
It's
maybe if
definitely
you're on
well
a
worth
tight
it, so
budget, you have
don't
to
let
like
that fool you.
really be careful. Yeah, it's
And
fine.
even though
It's
Australia
okay.
can be pretty pricey to
It's
travel
manageable.
around in, you can also earn heaps of money here on a working holiday visa. Now, for a lot of countries that can get a 12-month working holiday
Oh,
visa,
a
you can
working
expect to
visa.
earn between $20 to $25 even for jobs like bartending or dishwashing as well. So yeah, it's pretty easy to
Okay,
make that bank.
like
put it in
20
your savings, and then
$25 an
spend it all
hour.
on
That's
traveling
that's a
afterwards.
really
So yeah,
good.
if you can do a working holiday
that's
visa,
a good hourly
make sure
rate.
you get it done.
Okay, I don't think that's for
And if you do
everyone,
do
but
your-
if it's something that attracts you, like
working
definitely
holiday
go
visa in
for it. It's a
Australia,
great
make
choice.
sure you claim back your tax and your superannuation. Now, both of these are really quick and simple to do online. I've left a link in the description below for my full
those like,
guide.
return
and with
taxes?
up to £3,000 as an average,
Oh yeah, I think
backpacker
almost everyone
refund,
like
you'd be
forgets
stupid
to do
not to do
them.
it.
Yeah, you'd be stupid not to.
And
But
even
a lot
if
of
you're
people
not
do
keen on a
forget.
working holiday visa, getting a
It's very
tourist
easy,
visa
like,
into
to forget
Australia
about
is
them.
relatively simple to do and usually
Oh,
free.
can be
I've left a
free?
link in the
Okay.
description below to the official Australian immigration site so you can check out your eligibility. But for most countries, it's easy enough to get a free visa
Oh,
online.
see, you can stay for 3 months. I think that's perfect time for you to actually get to know the whole country. I think that's an amazing, yeah, like what an amazing
Processed
opportunity.
super quickly as well. So go check
And
them
you
out.
can stay for over 12 months or up to 12 months. That's actually
Now,
pretty
another thing
good.
people tend
Oh
to
yeah, they
overlook
also
when
winter. Do
planning
they
their
have do they have winter in Australia? Because my idea of that country is that it's perpetual like summer, always beaches or wonderful landscapes, and that's it. Like it's
Australia
it's not
is,
snowy,
yes,
it
it
doesn't
does get cold,
rain.
and Australia does have a winter. In fact, it can
Oh,
get
it
pretty
can get
chilly
cold.
in the
Okay, so
southern
I'm
parts,
surprised.
such as Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, and Tasmania. So you might even have to pack a jumper
chilly,
for your
okay.
Australia trip. Now, the Aussie
Oh,
winter
so
runs
May to
through
September, maybe
so
avoid it.
be aware when planning your itinerary.
Oh,
That being
16,
said,
6 to
though, the
14
tropics
degrees.
in the
Okay, so
north
it
are
gets cold.
amazing at that time of year as well, and places like
Well, depending on where you're from, maybe like 6 to 14. It's not. It's like, oh, I can
Cairns,
handle
the
it.
Red
I'm gonna
Centre,
be in
and
shorts.
Darwin in the Northern
Not me though,
Territory
but
are incredible to explore during the
to each
Aussie
their
winter
own.
and to escape the colder climates.
yeah, what a wonderful thing! Like instead of like going in the summer, you're like, I
Now,
visited
one of my
Australia
other
in the
top tips
winter.
of traveling around Australia is camper vanning is heaps of fun and is something you should definitely do.
Oh,
Sure,
that
it's
looks
not as
so
cheap and easy as
fun.
things like the Greyhound passes, but camper vanning is super fun.
Oh, okay, but it's
flexible,
not
and
cheap.
It can be a
Okay.
good road trip. So even if you just fit in a small road trip, such as the
Oh,
Great
okay,
Ocean
so
Road,
it's
which
very-
is a
yeah.
great one to do for like 3 or 4
But
days.
it has
or even
a
your
lot
trip
of
from
budget,
Sydney
so
up
they
to
have a lot of
Byron Bay is an
options. So
awesome
maybe you
New
can
South
find
Wales road
something
trip.
that adjusts to your
Definitely
budget.
one trying to do if you can fit it into your plans.
Oh well, that's
Also,
great.
along the
I love
travelling
it. I
side
love
of
the fact
things,
that he's
keep in
just
mind that it
giving
can
us
be
a lot of
cheaper
options.
to fly in Australia than bus or camper van. And the most obvious option with this is if you're trying to get from the East Coast to the West
Okay.
Coast, so flying from
Maybe like a low
Cairns or
cost.
Brisbane
Yeah, there's probably going to be like a
across to
lot of
Perth
like
or
low
Darwin.
cost airlines.
That's definitely cheaper to fly, but it's also worth factoring
Oh,
in your
yeah, of
time as
course.
well as your money. Now you can easily get over
Yeah, even time and money, because sometimes I think it's better if you like spend a little more, but in the end you're gonna have more time left in your trip. So I think a lot of times it's actually worth it if you like
bus between
splurge a little
Sydney
bit
and
on
Byron
that
Bay,
plane ticket.
But you can also fly
Instead
from
of, like,
Sydney
getting
to
a bus.
Ballina and get there within
But the
just a
bus is
few
also very
hours as
scenic,
well.
so
And in
I don't
actual
know.
fact, when you weigh it up against how
it
much
has
that
yeah,
takes
it
off
really
your
does
bus
depend on
pass
what
as
on
well,
your budget
it
and
can
what
work
you're
out
looking
way
for.
cheaper to fly. Check out companies such as Virgin Australia and
Yeah,
Jetstar
so if
for
you're
some
short on
awesome
time,
internal flights.
definitely
But
go
make sure you
ahead.
do your research, and you could find out flying is the way to go.
Of course, obviously, like do your research. Obviously,
Now, when it
it's
comes to
very
making the
important.
most of your money whilst traveling Australia, getting a package deal really does work out cheaper. If you were to book all your accommodations and your tours
Oh,
separately along the
okay.
route independently, it definitely works out much more expensive than packaging it all together. Sure, if you're traveling around Australia for a long period of time,
Oh,
say
okay,
6
so
to
they
12
have
months,
bundles.
you don't want to bundle in
Okay.
all your accommodation and keep your itinerary fixed. But you can bundle in all your tours together through people like RTW Backpackers. Their links in the description.
Oh yeah, that's great. You bundle all the
below.
yeah.
And it
I
will
think that's
save
an
you heaps
amazing
along the
choice.
way.
I love it. Yeah.
If you are coming out to Australia on a shorter period of time, say 2 to 3 weeks, putting together your itinerary and getting all booked in
Yeah.
advance.
I love the fact that
really
for
works out
him,
cheaper.
2 or
Make sure you
3 weeks is actually short time. For me, that's a lot of time to be
hit up
spending
the guys
on
at
vacation.
RTW
But for
Backpackers
him,
and
it's
they'll
just like
hook you up
it's
with the
actually
best deal.
a short time. Yeah, but I love the
And
fact that
along
they
those
have
lines
options.
as well, it's worth pointing out that there's so much to do in Australia, so make sure you do heaps of planning so you
Of
don't miss
course,
out on
there's
anything.
so many things to
Things
do.
like surf lessons,
I think,
dolphin kayaking, Fraser Island, Whitsundays,
a lot of
Magnetic Island,
activities,
Cape Tribulation,
outdoor
Cairns
activities,
Waterfall, Sydney Harbour Bridge Climb, the Great
dolphins.
Ocean Road, touring around Ayers
Oh my
Rock,
god, a
feeding
wombat,
wild
I
dolphins
love
in
them.
Monkey Mile. There's
Supernatural,
heaps
I
to see
love
and
it.
do. Now, if you want
Koala
to check out my
bears,
full Aussie bucket list, the
kayak.
link's in the description below, so you don't miss out on any of those awesome experiences.
Aussie bucket list, love it.
And for scuba divers, it's worth pointing out that Australia is full of incredible diving, but not just at the Great Barrier Reef. Sure, the Great Barrier Reef is pretty awesome and it's definitely worth taking
Of course,
off
you
your
don't
scuba
have to
diving
like
bucket
go
list.
to the most
Spots like
touristy
Julian
places.
Rocks in Byron Bay,
Yeah,
the SS Yacht Longala,
but there are some
Seal
other
Rocks,
incredible
and of course,
places.
Ningaloo Reef are well worth checking out and getting under the water for too. So yeah, if you're scuba diving in Australia, make sure you check out all the awesome sites. Now, when it comes to making the most of your money in Australia, work for accommodation is by far the best way to save money on your travels.
Oh, work for accommodation. Yeah, I know that a lot of people are actually like travel a lot on that mode, and I think it's great. Again, like if it works for you, like for sure, like go ahead and do
a few
it.
hours a day
Like
at a
if it's
hostel for a
between your
free bed and
possibilities.
also potentially some meals as well.
Yeah,
I spent
like
over
work in
6
a
months doing
hostel.
that on my first trip to Australia and saved absolutely heaps. Not
6
only did I
months.
get a free bed for the night, I also got a free nightly meal and a bar tab as well.
Free bed.
So yeah, make sure you check out the hostel receptions after
Love
work
it,
for
yeah.
accommodations and score yourself a sick job. In fact, it can work out even better than doing paid work.
See, it's better.
Now, one of my favorite little hidden tips about traveling in Australia is the fact there are free barbecues everywhere. Yet, totally free to use, and most of them have
free
incredible
BBQs.
beachside views as well.
Love
All you have to
it.
do is press a button, they heat up.
Oh
and
yeah,
you can get
because
cooking.
yeah, they have
All
like
is you clean them up and
barbecues
leave
all
them
over the
in
place.
a good state for the next traveler as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Obviously,
don't
be a
that
good
dude.
citizen.
Make sure
Leave
you
them
tidy
be.
up
Leave them
after.
clean.
And there you have it, guys. Those are my 20 things I think you should know before you head to Australia. Now, if you want any more info about traveling in Australia, make sure you check out the links in the description below from all my written guides.
Yeah, I love the fact that he's very a complete guide.
Tour reviews and accommodation options as well. And of course, if you have any questions, chuck them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them.
Yeah, and he's
So that's
also
it
like
for this
super
week,
helpful.
guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I think it's great. He gave a lot of like really good tips. And I love the fact that it's for every budget. So maybe if you have a tight budget, you're gonna be like, you know what, this doesn't really adapt to my needs. But maybe if you're like, I want to splurge, I really want to go there. I want to go there for a month, and I want to really enjoy my time and have like all the experiences I want to have. So this was really interesting, and I love how many options he gave, and it was like a very detailed guide. So definitely, if you're going to Australia, please check it out. Like, what more could you ask for? But that was it for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.